This is Outnumbered. I'm Andrea Tantaros, and here with us today, Harris Faulkner, host of the brand new show on FBN Kennedy on our sister network, Fox Business. Also from FBN, Money with Melissa Francis, host Melissa Francis. And Outnumbered again.
What am I doing here? I love being with you guys, but what is going on out there?
It's 9.
There was a pile of this. There was a pile of this like white. What is that?
I don't know because it hasn't been white in 2 weeks. It's gray.
It's great to be here with you.
Street value of that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's
How do you know about that in South Florida?
That's what he does for a living.
Please.
Nasty snow. Yeah, welcome back.
Great
And
to
you
be
used
back.
to be a DJ, so we're going to drop that.
Yes.
Hey,
yes.
ooh.
I'm available for
Spin
weddings
it like
and bar
it's hot.
mitzvahs. I'll do it.
Are you going to spin your son's bar mitzvah? That we're going to talk to you about that during overtime. All right, let's get to the news. Kayla Mueller, the young American who died while...
But you can tell that he's hurting. That if he could have done more, he would have. He did everything.
If you are the family of Kayla Mueller, aren't you saying, what about my daughter?
Well, of course. Let's understand something. There is nothing that he can do.
I looked at Twitter yesterday. A lot of people were upset. I was reading some of the tweets. I mean, of course, they were mourning Mueller, but they were saying things like, well, of course, he just wanted to shut down Gitmo, being President Obama. And this wouldn't have facilitated that. And I mean, people are really outraged at this because they don't feel like the administration tried hard enough to save her.
No, I think that
It almost sends a message to Americans that if you're going to go abroad, if you're going to do this type of thing, whether it's humanitarian or otherwise, and you need help, you might not rely on the administration to help you, whether you work for the government or whether you're an ambassador in Benghazi. And your request.
Representative Paul Gozer, who you were saying as well.
Yeah.
So then the question becomes, do we pay? There are some criticisms, though, that the president has opened up a can of worms by mentioning this, because they're
Curious whether anyone on this panel thinks that he should have paid. Very quickly. Anybody criticize him? He should have paid out.
All right.
I know that's what I would have.
Time gap.
Yeah,
That's really
it's a
as
time
a
gap. I
parent,
mean, I think
that's what
really
bothers
you can ask
me.
about.
Is
There's
the
also
time gap.
this American journalist, Austin.
Amazing to see this brand implode. I mean, not just with Brian Williams, but
The effort forward to do so. I don't know if
what
we
would that
can,
look
though.
like, though?
I mean, look, he had one shot. And in crisis communications, I always say you get one bite at the apple to really get it right. And he did miss that moment when he gave that false apology. Look, this is very severe. As you know, 6 months, it's unprecedented. I think NBC has to decide if they bring somebody back, because when I looked at the severity of the punishment, I thought, okay, he really did something wrong. Do you bring somebody back after the punishment was so severe? Because, and also I thought of this too. Think about his reporting that affected the Bush administration. Think about that. I mean, he was basically saying at the time it was so bad in Iraq that my helicopter got shot down, or it was so bad in Hurricane Katrina that a man killed himself. I mean, this is pretty serious stuff. I mean, NBC has a really big decision to make.
Mark.
The answer to your question is no. She's not. This is from an anchor person who repeatedly tried to make.
he forgot. I don't think he forgot he was a reporter. I mean, there are some reports that say he wanted to take over the Tonight Show. This is a person with such grandiosity. He saw himself transcended. He saw himself as something much bigger than an anchor or a journalist who couldn't be contained by the typical rules. And I also think, like, either he needs to go to
too. Like, and my big question is, what is he going to be doing the next 6 months?
Welcome to
if
Conflators.
He can't be on the air. What's he going to tweet like crazy? And is from a
Rule in journalism.
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
There you go. All right.
Experts on the panel, and I turn to Tantaros from Tantaros University, who's been doing her study for several decades.
Yes.
What is your thought? Groundbreaking. She has. We'll get to you, Kennedy. Yes. Yes. Go. Yes.
Right. So the Tantaros Institute has been conducting a similar study over the past, well, let's say 3 decades or so. They found very similar research findings, but not all. I would say about 85%.
There's a major flaw in this study.
Oh.
They described a
what the weight to hip ratio dictates.
Well, I
What
mean,
about this?
Hang on.
You know, when they're cut,
The V.
like, how they look. Really interesting.
Beholder. So how do we decide who's in this category?
It's a good question. I mean, again, the Tantaros Institute has a series of requirements and specifications. There's, eyes to shoulders, there's shoulders to waist, there's waist to toes, if you know what I mean. There's all different qualitative and quantitative formulas, let's say.
Very interesting. So here's my next question to Harry.
But I would say more so than for men. And honestly, it is what it is.
Did we?
Yeah, I mean, I read this.
Little lie.
the perfect Valentine's Day?
Perfect Wednesday. Shabbat shalom. So how often do you lie about your anorexia and your love of chocolate?
Because if it's
same way, I love it.
80%, apparently that's not
72% and above.
apparently there's antioxidants in. This is what she tells me. It's the milk chocolate that's a problem. And by the way, it's any treats. You don't go around yelling, "Hey, honey, I finished the last 4 Krispy Kreme donuts." You know, you hide that. That's a.
Oh, I do.
No.
I'm proud of it. I'm like, I throw down the
Percent and above. I think your wife is looking for 80. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that's disturbed by the chocolate intake?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
They are.
That's
that's
terrible.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
And I will remind everyone that judgment is the thing.
Yeah.
They're lying about
No.
chocolate. What else are they lying about?
Wait, that's so petty. Are you kidding me?
It seems sort of ridiculous. I'm not a big chocolate lover. I'll eat it if someone gives it to me, and then I feel myself getting addicted. But I would rather have a big plate of mashed potatoes and a steak.
Oh, I would eat all
over
3.
chocolate.
I would be like, how dare you?
I think it's true. Like, what else is that person lying about?
Yeah, no,
It
absolutely.
seems ridiculous, though. I
It's
agree
ridiculous.
with Melissa that
It's
you're going to lie
ridiculous.
about your eating habits. I mean, that sounds like a pretty wacky relationship.
I feel like
right?
this survey was done by somebody who wants right. I mean,
I'm just letting you make the point while
Thank
I
you.
feverishly nod from this end of the couch.
Okay.
All right, well, we're
There you
staying
go.
right here for Outnumbered
Indeed.
Overtime. We're going to do the slash and click. Go to the web right now, foxnews.com/overtime. Click on the overtime tab. We're going to be back tomorrow at noon Eastern. And guess what starts right now? That's right, happening now. Starts right now.